Man, I haven't gone on this game to finish this yet. I need to start doing that. Cause honestly, this looks kind of sick. Oh my god, lie, this looks kind of sick. It looks better than that brick piece of poo poo over there that I gotta finish or do something about one day. Who knows? Anyways, how's it going, everybody? I'm Infamous Isaac, and welcome back to a One Piece review series that I'm doing, which is like, I guess, still somehow the pseudo name, but the official name for it. I'm just gonna give up on trying to name it something. I'm just gonna call it that because I'm just man. But I'm here today with the next arc that I'm gonna be doing, Sabaody Archipelago, and in the anime, right? This arc in the anime is like 21 episodes long, compared to like Thriller Bark, which is like 30 to 40, maybe even 50 episodes long. This arc is short, right? It's really short. It's like the length of a season on anime, or at least close to it. But this arc is significantly, and I mean significantly important, or more, I guess more important, but not like Thriller Bark was important. It's just Sabaody Archipelago in terms of importance. It's like the most important arc we've had so far. Even more important than any zombie. Like this arc is the reason why subsequent arcs after this point happen, and why actions happen and all that. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna be talking about today. Hopefully it's not 60 minutes long, but it probably will be considering how I go about these things. And yeah, so let's get to it. Sabaody Archipelago. I have the wiki right here on the side so I can remember stuff. I'm not here like, oh, it's my main source for talking about it, but I'm not here to summarize it, you know. Even though I end up doing that, it's not my intent. But 11th arc in what's it called in the show, and like I said, it's short, but again, it's mad important. So basically, this is right after Thriller Bark. I don't know how many days it is after Thriller Bark. I haven't looked it up, but it's not that long after. Probably like a week, if anything, maybe a couple days. It's not too long after, and we're they're going to Fishman Island. That they have a log post that wants to go to Fishman Island, right? They're gonna go there as their next destination. But when they get to what's it called, to where they need to go, the red line is in front of them. The same red line that helped them go through Reverse Island or Reverse Mountain to get to, you know, where they went. I forgot what the other part of it's called. Basically, they're halfway through their journey. They've explored everything that they needed to, all the way from Reverse Mountain all the way to where they are now, the other side of the red line, where a bunch of important, well, lack of better words, where important shit is. And now they need to get to Fishman Island so they can go through and go to the New World, which is the other half of the journey that they need to do. And so this is a problem because the red line is filled with, it's basically next to Marine headquarters, and that's bad considering that they're pirates. So they need to find a way to get out of here. But another thing that they don't know is that a bunch of world nobles are here near Sabaody Archipelago. And so I'll talk about that later. A mermaid shows up, right? She shows up, she jumps onto their ship. And her name's Camie, right? Green haired girl, black t-shirt. She's cute, she's adorable. And she has a starfish with a Jamaican hat on. I don't know why. But he's alright. I mean, he's nothing crazy. That hat on him is probably like the best thing. But anyways, so they show up. She's trying to sell what's it called? Takoyaki to them. Takoyaki to the crew. Caesar can barely talk. Um, but she remembers. Oh yeah, my brother's in trouble. We need to go save him because a bunch of slave traders have him captured. And slavery, right? Slavery is going to be talked about a lot in this arc. And I mean like a lot. Slavery is a very prominent thing in the world of One Piece. because of the different races in the world, slavery is definitely they're still going through it. Unlike our world, which is like it got better. I'm not gonna say that slavery doesn't exist still, but it got better. For them, it didn't. So they're gonna go rescue what's it called, her brother, and it turns out that her brother, his name is Hachi, the same Hachi all the way from Arlong Park in the beginning of the show. The Hachi, the octopus, a fishman who fought Zoro all the way back in like in Arlong Park when it was Nami's arc. So, Nami, Zoro, Luffy, Sanji, Usopp, kind of hesitant because he's kind of he worked for Arlong. Arlong wasn't a great guy, but Hachi is. He's a great guy. He's amazing. And Camie stands by him. So they go do it as a favor for Camie. They go find him. They go to where what's it called, the slave capturers, I guess captures. They're part of the business. They capture people and they make them slaves and all that. Basically give them to the auction so they can be put up for slavery. But this dude, his name's Duval, right? And a funny thing that I haven't talked about, Sanji's bounty, right? Everybody has bounties because they're pirates. The Marines want to capture them, and if you just happen to capture them, they'll give you a handsome reward for it. Luffy has the highest, so I think at this point 300 million. And Sanji's, I think, is like second highest, or no, third highest. Zoro's the second. Or actually, is he third highest? Because Robin has 77 million. I don't remember. I'll probably put in like the description or something, like he has like whatever amount. But Sanji's, he is the only one with a bounty that doesn't have his face on it. It has a picture of somebody else who looks like Sanji, but just horribly disfigured and disgusting looking. Not like, oh, he has like, what's it called? Like his face is horribly mangled and all that. No, it's just that he's ugly. And Sanji just wondered, like, why in the world is this picture as my bounty? Like, is this used as a picture for my bounty? That doesn't look like me. And they're like, I don't know, man. It kinda does. It's like, no, it doesn't. And then we find out they're using Duval's picture, the guy who's the leader of the slave ring, or the guy who's capturing slaves, because there's a bunch of sections and units that do it. And the leader here, Matol, looks like Sanji, and Duval has a whole face covering over his face to hide his face, so Marines don't know that it's him, because since they're using his picture for the bounty, for Sanji's bounty, this has been horrible for him because he's just trying to be he's trying to be a villain, but he can't be because of the bounty on his head. And so once he sees Sanji, he's like, yo, we're gonna scrap, dog. I'm tired of you ruining my life because of you wanting to be a pirate. And then Sanji's like, bro, you ruined mine. And then they start beefing, they start scrapping. And Luffy and all them, they do their thing. I haven't mentioned Frankie a lot ever since his arc, but don't worry, he's important. They start doing their thing, they start rescuing people, they start beating up the bad guys, typical stuff. And Hachi captured in a cage, they break it, and they get him out. Hachi, noticing that it's them, he's like, damn, I'm really sorry about what I did. You're like, don't worry about it. I still hate your guts, but don't worry about it. And so, what's it called? They get him out. Sanji's dueling with Duval, and one thing leads to another, and Sanji hits him with the craziest souffle kick to the face, so hard that like he like does facial reconstruction to him, like handsome Squidward in that one SpongeBob episode. Like when SpongeBob does that to his face, he does that to Duval, and it literally reconstructs his face so he looks beautiful and nothing like the picture. And he looks around and everybody's like, yo, what happened to your face? Because Sanji's done that before. Sanji's kicked somebody so hard that he reconstructed their face. Like, that happened in the between arc of Water 7 and Annie's Lobby, where they're going to Annie's Lobby. on the train when Sanji was on it with Frankie and Usopp, he beat a guy from what's it called CP9, and he reconstructed his face because he was mad ugly and then he turned mad beautiful. But then he beat him up again. He was mad ugly. Well, beauty's subjective, but anyways, I don't I don't want to talk about that. I should have put a white line in between these, made them 5 wide instead of 4. That would have been fire. I'm kind of like an actual road, but it's too late for that now. So, or is it? It's too late for that side. I'll definitely say that. But, anyways, so what was I talking about? I don't remember. Dang. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Sanji reconstructing his face. Yeah, he kicked him so hard he reconstructed his face. Um, Now Duval is mad thankful. He's like, "Thank you so much. You just made my life 100 times better." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I still hate you though." And he's like, "Don't worry, bro. For now until forever, I will always be your faithful servant and a subordinate. You can count on me and my crew to be there for you forever, Sanji." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Whatever. Let's go eat some. Let's go eat some takoyaki from Hachi." And everything's good for right now. So Nami completely despises Hachi because of the fact that like he was there with Arlong, doing all that stuff to her village. So she she's not doing the greatest, but she finally swings around a little bit, considering that Hachi isn't a bad guy. Like Arlong is a bad guy, Hachi isn't. So that's always gonna be what's it called? Like it's gonna be on him for a little bit, but Nami learns to forgive him, at least because she's seeing that he's a good person. So they're eating takoyaki, and they're like, "All right, Sabaody Archipelago's close or nearby, so why don't you guys just stop by and re-up on supplies before you get going to Fishman Island?" They're like, "All right, bet, let's do it." And the group splits up, or they get to Sabaody Archipelago. Hachi has a disguise on, which I'll talk about later, and they finally get to Sabaody Archipelago, the name of the arc. Everybody's there. They all split up, doing their own thing. And a lot of Marines are on this island. Not because like, oh, it's a government owned island, but because something's happening on this island today. And let's just say for the Marines it's not good. For pirates, it's great. Because I gotta get some, not that. Basically, Zuli, Luffy, and Zoro, excuse me, um, they started out at the same time, right? Luffy and Zoro, they joined crew, and they have notoriety building, right? They both have high bounties for how long ago they started. They only started like 4 to 6 months ago, right? So they're pretty big for what they're doing, and the government's noticed this because other people like them have been doing the same thing. They got really big really fast, and they're also outside of the archipelago. These people from the new generation of their kind are called the Supernovas, right? And there's 9 of them. There's Luffy and Zoro. There's um Trafalgar Law. He's sick. A lot of people like him. I do too. There's Captain Kidd, who he's dope. Honestly, he's really sick. There's Black or Capone Beach, who's a gangster. He's also really sick, but you'll find that out later, like extremely down the line, way way down the line. There's also I forgot her name. Um, there's Basil Hawkins. He's a bit weird. There's Killer. I forgot where doesn't have their names. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's not 9, it's 12. I forgot that he's in there. Okay. Um, Somehow I always manage to do this every time. Um, okay, so Luffy, Zoro, Law, Captain Kidd, ex Drake, who's an ex Marine. He's important later. U Rouge. He's mad whack. Scratch Manapoo. He's he's lit later on in the story, but for right now he's a musician. He's lit. He's really sick. I promise you. Basil Hawkins. He's in a voodoo. Killer. Capone Beach. And Jewelry Bonnie. That's her name. There you go. He's like, I think she's the only girl in the new generation. Yeah, it says it right here. Oh, they have it listed by. Oh no, they don't. Okay. And then the final one, the one with the most notoriety here, is Blackbeard, aka Marshall D. Teach, the guy that we met in Skypia after Luffy beat up Bellamy, or before. Basically, these are all important people, right? And all of them, well, not all of them, but almost all of them are going to be on the island, right? Except for Blackbeard, because he's doing something. And if I remember right, um, I think this happened directly after Enies Lobby, or directly after. No, it happened directly after um, Thriller Bark. There you go. This is extremely important because this is the reason why the next arcs happen. Um, Blackbeard, right? The same guy that we saw talk to Luffy and have the same dream to become the Pirate King like Luffy. One, two, three. Blackbeard is fighting somebody, right? Somebody that we know very, very well. Ace. Blackbeard is fighting Ace. He's on an island. He finds Ace on this island, and they start scrapping, right? Ace, being a member of Whitebeard's pirates, doesn't like Blackbeard because he was on that crew. He was with Black or Whitebeard when he was still in his prime, when he was the goat of the sea after Roger died, and he betrayed him because he killed somebody. And Whitebeard's like the only rule that he has, or one of the only rules that he has, is that you don't kill your own crew members, right? As disrespectful because he sees his crew as family. He legit he sees himself as the father of his crew, and everybody else has his sons and daughters, right? The only one that he's seen as a brother is a spoiler. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's important. And Blackbeard killed one of his crewmates. I don't know if they ever mentioned who it was, but he did. And he got kicked off of the crew. Almost killed, but he didn't die. Well, almost killed, but they didn't kill him. Is what I'm trying to say. And Ace, being loyal to the soil to Blackbeard, hates him completely, despises him, despises Blackbeard, or loyal to the soil to Whitebeard, and so they start scrapping. And the last thing, by the way, I really recommend looking up that fight. It's so cool. One of my favorite fights, like in pre-time skip. It's so dope. But anyways, so yeah, that happens. So that's why Blackbeard isn't here. And what's it called? Luffy and all of them are going, or not all of them, but a good majority of Luffy's crew is going to is going with Hachi and Camie to the amusement park, right? Hachi's against it, but they just want to have fun, not knowing the slavery or the crazy slave trade that's going on, right? And on the other hand, a bunch of other people from the crew are going somewhere else, and they're just having a good time. They're exploring the island. They're seeing all the technology that they have, and they're just lit. They're like Playboy Cardi. They're dialect. That was terrible. I apologize. But what's it called? Hmm. Hmm. I'll deal with that later. Um, but yeah, so basically, Zoro's the first one to see what's really going on this island, right? He meets a couple people, and they're all just chilling, and then a celestial dragon appears, right? Now, celestial dragons are some of the most hated people in the show, right? Like besides another character that that will be discussed later, they're despised. People hate celestial dragons in the show and in what's it called outside of the show. And so he sees one, and everybody else is bowing when they walk around because they have like a god blood in their blood. They're not strong, but by lineage they're powerful. Um, politically, politically they're powerful, and the navy bends to every one of their whims, right? And one of them walks by, and everybody's bowing, and one of them does something. Like one of them get, or well, one of them is being carried off by what's it called, a hospital, right? A transportable hospital, I guess. Well, not really. Like he's very carried off on a stretcher, right? Because a celestial dragon shot him, right? Because he didn't bow fast enough. They popped him, and when the what's it called, when doctors went to go help him, when it went to assist him, the celestial dragon told him not to, and they can't do anything because that's a celestial dragon. If they don't accept, their whole lives are done. They're gonna become slaves, and or they're gonna die. Because defying celestial dragons is like defying the navy. It's bad. So Zoro sees this, and he's about to go kill that dragon. He's about to go scrap with him. But Bonnie, I think I don't remember her full name, but a pink-haired girl who's a supernova, she stops him because her devil fruit lets her change her age and all that. And she goes up, causes a distraction, and stops him. And they're talking, and he's like, "Well, why'd you let me? Why'd you stop me?" And she's like, "You're stupid. That's a celestial dragon, dummy." And and she's like, "Don't do that again, please. Like nobody's gonna be there to save you next time." He's like, "Oh, okay." Meanwhile, he's still what's it called? Or mind you, there you go. He's still injured from that battle with Kuma and all that, right? Or nothing happened. And so he's not in the fight or in the position to be able to go start fights with people, even if they're not strong, the Navy. But yeah, Bonnie saves Zoro. You see a bunch of people in restaurants. You see supernovas in restaurants. You see Capone Beach. Earlier you saw, what's it called, Bonnie there. Some tension was rising, but everything was good. And you see Scratch Manapoo and Basil Hawkins walking around. You see Rouge, a bunch of other celestial dragons, and then you see Kid walking around, and you see Law, right? And what's it called? Meanwhile, on the other side, right, it was Luffy, Usopp, Nami, and Chopper. They're what's it called? They're walking around with Camie and Hachi, and they look away for 1 second, and Camie gets captured, right? Because it slips out that she's a mermaid, right? And like I mentioned earlier, mermaids and fishmen aren't treated with respect. They're not seen as equal to humans, which is why they're treated as slaves outside of their country. And so Camie gets captured and she's going to become a new slave, right? And she's going to be held up in auction. And since she's a mermaid, she's going to be worth a lot. And so she gets captured. They don't notice until it's too late. And now they have to go find her, right? And so the best way to do that is to go to an auction, right? And they don't have a lot of money. They have a lot of money from, what's it called? I think it's Thriller Bark. Yeah, it's Thriller Bark where they get their money. Thriller Bark and Water 7. But what's it called? Now the main goal is not to blow up, but to find Nami. Or not Nami, Camie, excuse me. And that's the next goal. They go to the auction. This probably sounds like a lot because I have to explain a lot, but it's like episode 10, so we're still not done. But hopefully this isn't a long video because if it is, then tough. But it's gonna be a long video anyways. They get to the auction, right? In the auction, we see two other supernovas. Well, three actually. Trafalgar Law, the captain of the Heart Pirates, and Captain Eustace Kid, and Killer, since Kid and Killer are in the same crew, you know? They're buddies. It's like Zoro and Luffy and all that. And so they're all there. And the auction is about to begin. And we get a sneak peek of inside the auction and we see an old man in there, right? And this man, you know, he's like old man in anime, right? Like Master Roshi or Netero from Hunter x Hunter. He's important. He doesn't look like an old man except for the fact that he has gray hair, has some wrinkles on his face. But he's important. And we go back to the auction. Because he's talking to Camie, blah, blah, blah. Back to the auction. So everybody's there. Nami and Luffy and all of them are like, yo, let's do it. The auction starts. See a bunch of other people. They're betting. A celestial dragon is there. Same celestial dragon that, what's it called? Zoro saw. And things don't go too well, right? Because these people are rich for a reason. All because Nami and everybody in the crew has a lot of money doesn't mean that they have more money than them. So it doesn't go well. And they don't have enough money to buy Camie. So she's about to get sold off. Because, what's it called? The Celestial Dragon bought her. Man. And what comes next is one of the craziest scenes in One Piece, because let me make sure I get this right. Like, I know it's gonna extend the video even more, but I gotta make sure that I get it right so I can get the sequence of events down. Man, my goodness. I forgot to mention, Sabaody Archipelago is advanced, right? Mad advanced. It's like one of the most advanced islands in the world, and it's sectioned off by trees, right? Trees and bubbles flying up because of the, my goodness, geography. There you go. Okay, I was right. So that same celestial dragon saw an injured man and kicked over the stretcher. There you go. And then Zoro goes up to that dragon. There you go. Alright. And then Bonnie helps him out. Oh, Usopp wasn't on at the amusement park. Huh. I'm spreading a lot of bad information based off of my memory. It's terrible. Come on, come on, come on. Yo, my goodness. Okay, there you go. Alright. Okay, there you go. Alright, so Luffy wasn't there with Nami. I got that wrong. He arrives later with Zoro. Because he didn't go to the auction with them. He shows up with Zoro later. They both show up, bust in to stop the auction, and he goes up to Camie immediately, right? Hachi and Nami, along with Chopper and Sanji, are all at the auction. Luffy goes up to Camie. Hachi is trying to stop him because if he ruins the auction, they're gonna be killed. And his disguise falls off, and it reveals that he's a fishman. And then the celestial dragon shoots Hachi, dead in his body. And Luffy seeing this, seeing Hachi bleeding out on the floor, Hachi pleading to him like, please, don't do it. It's fine. I'm a lousy fishman. You don't need to fight for me. Just please stop. And Luffy, being the goat, the don that he is, walks up the stairs, goes up to that celestial dragon, and hits him punches him dead in his face so hard that it changes the color spectrum. That for like a couple seconds, the whole show is devoid of color except black and white. And like, I'm gonna link all of these videos to in the description so people can see them. But I'm telling you, like, you guys need to see these videos. Him punching him that hard is one of the greatest things I've seen in a long time. It's so sick. It's so dope. But moving on, this is really bad, right? Because of the fact that he hit a celestial dragon. On top of the things that they did at Annie's lobby, their bounties are gonna go crazy. Like, this man punched a world official for like seemingly no reason, right? The excuse me. The government's gonna cover it up, but seemingly for no reason, to the eyes of the people. And what's it called? The government people at Sabaody, the Marines, are short staffed. Apparently, I found this out through the wiki. I didn't notice it, but they probably did say it because they have flashes to where Garp and Sengoku talking, so they probably would have said it. But basically, the Navy at Sabaody Archipelago are understaffed, right? There's not a lot, or there's not as many people as they wanted to be there because of the fact that something else is happening, which is Ace being transported to jail to uh oh my gosh, what's the name of the jail? Oh jeez, I'm struggling. Impel down, there you go. Okay. Um so they're taking him to Impel down. The most important jail in all of the world, right? It's like Alcatraz level of jail. So he's being transported. And oh man, what's it called? Luffy walks out, but not alone. He walks out with Law and Captain Kidd. All three, the people with the highest bounties in the worst generation. which is the new generation. They all walk out and they're like, alright, you guys are in the same league as me. We're gonna have to fight together to get out alive because there's a bunch of Marines outside of the auction house, right? And they're like, alright, let's do it then. For now, we're gonna work together. But if we see you on the sea, you're dead. Alright, bet. And so they start scrapping with all the Marines there. And this goes on for a couple episodes. They're making sure that everybody gets out. Um, damn, my mind blanks so much. Like, one day I should have a script. One day I should really have a script so I can. I don't have to have the ums still in there. But yeah, so they're all fighting, trying to get out, trying to get to a safe spot, right? And Rayleigh, which is well, actually the old man, right? The old man that was in the auction house, turns out to be Rayleigh, right? One of, or nah, not one of. He was the vice captain for Gold Roger, aka Gold D Rogers crew, right? Roger being the greatest, like the Michael Jordan of the pirates, right? Of all pirates. And he, what's it called? He frees Camie from being a slave because she had a collar on her that would blow up if they ever tried to take it off. Rayleigh did it with some unforeseen quote unquote magic that will be explained later. I'm not gonna explain it now, but yeah. So hmm, I'll just keep going. So I'll stop around later and then continue on in like another video as like a part two. But yeah. So Rayleigh frees Camie. He's like, once you guys are done fighting the Marines, come over to my place. I'll tell you everything. And they're like, alright, we'll trust you. And they're all fighting. They get through the Marines, and Luffy's crew, Law, and Kid all split up. Luffy goes to Rayleigh's place, right? Goes to Shaggy's rip-off bar, right? Shaggy, I'm just gonna call her Shaggy, right? She's a baddie. Actually, top tier. Only thing that says that she smokes cigarettes, but anyways. She's lit. And I think she's Rayleigh's girlfriend or something like that, I don't remember. But she's dope. They get to there. Shaggy's like, where'd you go? And he's like, I was gonna get sold off to slavery, but I was gonna break out because I gotta pay debt. And I was like, oh, alright. And then they get there. Luffy starts talking to him, and he's like, yeah, I'm Roger's vice captain, or at least it was, before the crew got disbanded. And he's telling us a bunch of history, all that, Roger's execution. Roger's like, oh, here you go. You're the captain from now on. I'm gonna die, I'm gonna get executed. Live on for me, you know? And he's talking about how we found the One Piece with Roger. And Usopp goes to ask him, is it real? Is the One Piece real? And then Luffy, being the prideful man that he is, tells Usopp to shut up immediately because he's not gonna have him ruin the surprise of finding it, or the way to find it. For him, it's the journey, not what's at the end of it, because he wants to be the king of the pirates for a reason. And Rayleigh respects it, so he doesn't say it. And so, what's it called? Rayleigh's like, alright, I'm gonna coach y'all guys' ship, right? I'm gonna coat it with special residue and materials so that you guys can get to Fishman Island. Just give me a couple days and everything will be good. So just stay low, stay hidden, make sure that the Navy doesn't find you, everything will be straight. And they're like, alright, well, we have our plan now. Stay hidden. But I'm gonna have to cut it here for now because I gotta continue in the next part. I'm gonna record it right after. I'm gonna try to see if I can put it together. But if anything, it might be a part 2 series or part 2. So whatever. I'm gonna cut it here for right now. Peace. Okay. Continuing off of what I was talking about. Rayleigh tells him, I'm gonna coat the ship. Just stay low. It'll take a couple days, and everything will be good. You'll be able to go to Fishman Island. So I'm like, alright, that's the plan. But that doesn't happen. Because if you look at the arc list, you'll see that Fishman Island doesn't come around for a good couple of arcs, for good reason. And that's what I'm gonna be talking about now. So they get out of Shaki's what's it called bar, and they're gonna try and stay hidden. But once they go to their ship and all that, somebody shows up. Somebody disgustingly important, right? And his name is Kizaru, right? Kizaru, a Navy admiral. And at this point in time, there's three admirals. There's Aokiji, the one that we met all the way back in like, um, what's his name? Uh, all the way back when the Davy back fight happened. We met him, and then at the end of the arc, we saw him again, or at the end of Enies Lobby, we saw him again talking to Robin. Aokiji is a Navy admiral. He's fire, or not fire, ice. Akainu, he's also a Navy admiral. He's lava, molten lava. He's mad strong. And Kizaru, he's a light admiral. I think he's a Logia type. I think. I don't remember. But he's also an admiral, basically. Those are the three. I think they're based off of actors. It's like been stated that they're based off of actors, Japanese actors, but whatever. And Kizaru, being the second Navy admiral that we've ever seen, shows up here. And like I neglect to mention, right? He showed up before, like in the same arc, but he was fighting Basil Hawkins and Scratchman Apu, right? And they barely got out alive. But I mean, barely got out alive. Like, this man is powerful. He's a Navy admiral for good reason. And he showed up right in front of the crew. And then a bunch of other people showed up in the crew, like a guy, kind of like he calls Kizaru uncle or something like that, and he shows up with a bunch of Kumas. But this Kuma is different from the other Kuma, right? Because this was an android manufactured by Dr. Vegapunk. So Kuma, the one that we saw, was the real one, all the way back in Thriller Bark. The one that we see here is an android, and there's a bunch of other units like him that are manufactured and mass-produced as androids. And he shows up, a bunch of Kumas. Ah, geez. This is not good. This is not good. I'll definitely say that. So, oh, my controller's dying. Oh, my controller. Voice cracks. So yeah. Kizaru's here. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm a Navy admiral. I had to clap y'all up. And so he starts boxing everybody, right? But Rayleigh, the goat that he is, shows up and starts boxing Kizaru, right? While everybody else is fighting all the other people there. So like Zoro being injured, considering all the stuff that happened in Thriller Bark, can't really do much, right? His wounds are gonna open up again if he does anything. So like he gets knocked out immediately. And he's just struggling, you know? And everybody in the crew, like, well, Zoro didn't get knocked out immediately, right? Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro being the strongest members in the crew, they're trying their best to put off one android, right? One Kuma android. And it takes all their will to just beat up one. It goes to show that they're mad strong, but the androids are stronger. They're not ready yet. They're not ready to fight this level of power yet. So they defeat one, but there's way more. And so they're fearing for their lives, you know? They're not doing too good. And then to put the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, the real Kuma shows up. The Bartholomew Kuma that we saw in Thriller Bark shows up again. And this time he's not so forgiving. And so Luffy, seeing that everything is stacked up against him, realizes we can't win. We can't win this. We have to retreat. And so he gives out the order for the first time ever. Everybody, run. Focus on survival and survival alone. Do not fight. But it's too late. Kuma with the same thing that he did to what's her face? Ah, my gosh, what's her name? The guy that Usopp fought in Thriller Bark, or the girl that Usopp fought. Not her, not her. Perona, there you go. The same thing that Bartholomew Kuma did to Perona. He swiped his hand and she disappeared. He does it to Zoro. He does it to Sanji. He does it to Nami, Brook, Usopp, Chopper, and last but not least, does it to Robin. And honestly, like I'm a Robin fanboy, so that one hurt a lot. Like that scene really, and I mean like really hit different. It made me tear up a lot. Just say that. And Luffy being the only one left, he's not doing too hot. Like he's emotionally downtrodden, or downtrodden. He's saying that word, I don't remember. Downtrodden, yeah, I was gonna say that. He's not doing too good. And then Kuma goes up to him. He's like, "It's okay," and it swipes and sends him off to a different island, which shows they aren't dead, right? His crew isn't dead. They aren't dead. They're alive. Kuma did it to send them off so they could stay alive, because Kuma isn't a bad guy, and it's gonna be shown later. But Kuma is doing what he's doing with good reason, right? Which is why they kept him alive. Which is why Perona is also allegedly alive. So everybody gets sent off of Sabaody Archipelago. Rayleigh is left fighting Kizaru, and their ship is still at Sabaody Archipelago with nobody there. Luffy lands on the next arc that I'm going to be talking about after this, Amazon Lily, an island filled with only women. Everybody else landed in other places. Chopper landed, not to be honest with you, I don't remember where he landed. I really don't. But Frankie landed on a snowy island filled with machinery and all that. Zoro landed on Mihawk's Island with Perona. Since, greatest swordsman, one, and then there's the guy who wants to be the greatest swordsman. Kind of fitting. He's mad smart for doing that. But Robin lands on Russia, basically. Nami lands on a sky island. Usopp lands in a jungle filled with a bunch of upscaled animals. Or not upscaled. Upsized. Or they're bigger than normal things, basically. Sanji lands on, for lack of better words, like, this is literally called the Land of the Queers. It's a terrible name. It's from 2009, so I apologize. It's not a good name. Let's just say it's a product of its time. It's not the best name. And it's just a bunch of effeminate homosexual men on one island who look like women. But anime doesn't treat gay men the best way, so they're not treated with respect, basically. And you probably would have guessed that with the fact that it's called the Land of the Queers. But anyways, yeah, I legit forgot where Chopper landed. Like I might even go look it up, because I like Chopper, but I just don't care where he landed if it's that forgettable. But yeah, that's where everybody landed. Brook, I do not know what happened to him. He became a. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind, spoilers. Yeah, everybody landed somewhere. So I'm trying to say. And so that ends Sabaody Archipelago. Everybody got split up, and the crew basically broken for the time being. In a crushing defeat, they lost horrendously because they weren't strong enough. And this arc, honestly, like, it's a transitionary arc from from Thriller Bark, where like they won but barely. Oh my goodness, my voice is cracking so much. Holy, they won but barely, right? They barely won Thriller Bark. And Sub Archipelago is the transition. Like, you're not gonna be able to win all of them. You have to train. You have to get stronger. it shows like there's bigger fish in the sea for a reason, right? You guys have a lot of money like on your heads, but you aren't the top dogs yet, and you need to see that. And so the next couple of arcs are based off of what happens in here, right? This arc is the reason why the next arcs happen. Amazon Lily, Impel Down, and Marineford are happen because of Sabaody Archipelago. Arc is great, you know. I love Sabaody Archipelago. It was such a fun and interesting thing because you get so much lore on this one island that's so close to the Navy headquarters. You get to learn about celestial dragons, people who are just horrible people because of their bloodline. You get to learn about the slavery and what fishmen go through. You get to see the redemption of a character from a long time ago, Hachi. You get to see his family and how him being in that pirate crew Arlong affected them. You get to see everything, man. You get to see um, the other worst generation members who we didn't know existed until now, but they're also doing their own journeys with their own crews and their own bounties. Like, it shows that One Piece is really like the world is alive, you know? Things happen whether the characters want it to or not. The world is alive. It's moving. Not in conjunction with well, in conjunction with the characters, but also like, you know, in conjunction of other characters. Things happen because of our main characters and other characters, you know? If that makes any sense. So like this arc shows like, you know, you can have your Alabastas, you can have your Enies Lobbies, and you can have your Thriller Barks, but you need defeat, you know? He lost. Luffy and his crew lost. And now it's time to bring him back, you know? It's time for them to come back. And so, with that, that's Sabaody Archipelago for me. I think it's a great arc to follow up on Thriller Bark, you know? I love the fact that Sabaody Archipelago is the way that it is. Like, obviously, it has a bit of a slow start, like with the Hachi stuff. Like, Hachi himself is great. It's just the Duval stuff is like, it's alright, you know? It's nothing crazy, it's not bad, but it's not great, you know? The Duval stuff is definitely needed though. So I understand why. For me, I'm indifferent to it. I like the dynamic that he has with Sanji at the end, but in the beginning, this Duval stuff, I could care less. But later on, it's just like it picks up it kicks in the high gear ever since like Hachi got introduced and he started showing everybody around, right? Like it was so cool. It was so cool how he was going about showing everybody everything in this island because he lives here, or at least close to here. Because Sabaody Archipelago is a really important island. A bunch of trade happens here, slaves and all that get auctioned off in here. The Navy neglects that part of the business with good reason because you know they're devilish. But yeah, a bunch of people come here. Fishmine Island is close to Sabaody Archipelago. Navy headquarters, Celestial Dragons, Mary Joy, Mary Joy, Mary Joie, however it's pronounced, is close. Um, Marineford is close. Impel Down is close. A bunch of stuff, you know? A bunch of stuff is close. So Sabaody Archipelago is an important gear in the world. It's an important place. So it definitely the tribute that I got to it, it was cool. It was mad cool. I enjoyed this arc a lot, and the next arc, Amazon Lily, is amazing. So with that, I'm gonna end it here for now. I'm Infamous Isaac, and honestly, thank you guys for watching. If I like, even if it's one person or 100 people or 1,000 people, I don't even have more than like 10 subscribers, so I don't know why I'm saying those numbers, but I really enjoy the people who watch till the end, even though sometimes I get sidetracked and I'm kind of ditzy. So I really appreciate the people who watch to the end, even if you're just listening or even if you're watching avidly. Like I appreciate it a lot. But yeah, this has been the One Piece Sabaody Archipelago portion of the story, and next I'm gonna be talking about Amazon Lily. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll check y'all out.